Continuing from the previous chapter, Su Changtian spoke up and asked Zhou Chen, Mr. Zhou, could you explain the reason behind all this? Corrupt officials? Zhou Chen merely replied thoughtfully, that's only one part of it. Su Changtian immediately became interested. What else is there? Zhou Chen did not beat around the bush and went straight to the point. Third young master, do you know how many sect-owned businesses there are in Jinjiang City? First is Drunken Immortal Tower, one of the most luxurious taverns. Next is Xiaoxiang Pavilion, another famous pleasure venue in the city. Not only that, there is also the Beast Market on the east side of the city. And even vast farming estates outside the city. Zhou Chen summed it up bluntly, all of these belong to the sects. He further explained, the silver needed to feed all those sect disciples who don't produce anything is several times more than the yearly military budget for the border armies, yet these sects don't pay taxes. They only offer tribute to the court, and how much they send each year is entirely up to them. Hearing this, Su Changtian could not help but feel shocked. What? A money pit like Drunken Immortal Tower makes more in one night than you can count, and that's just one tiny corner of sect property, yet the court doesn't see a single coin of it. Even the old-time gentry weren't this outrageous. Zhou Chen continued to reveal, the Prime Minister has repeatedly memorialized the Crown Prince, wanting to fix this problem, but the Prince always rejects him, saying ancestral rules can't be changed lightly. My guess is that Master Qin targeted you mostly because of this matter. Su Changtian fell into deep thought. As the Prime Minister's son and a transmigrator who knew the plot in advance, he clearly understood the undercurrents surging beneath this affair. At that moment, just as the secret conversation ended, Su Changtian suddenly felt that something was off. He abruptly turned around, his gaze sharp as he asked, "You heard all that just now?" It turned out the eavesdropper was none other than Su Jinxian. She was sitting casually atop a sheepskin rug in an extremely alluring posture, her slender legs faintly visible beneath white stockings, as a voice sounded, "You didn't avoid talking in front of me, young master." Of course Jinxian heard it. Su Changtian flushed slightly as he thought to himself, this world really, if she'd used this trick on me right at the start, I very likely would have lost everything from one single wrong choice. But now that her charmed demon soul physique has been exposed, the deeper the physical contact. Thinking this far, he shuddered. The idea of personally testing it with his own body was completely off the table. Joking aside, his life mattered more. After steadying himself, he turned and asked, Jinxian, I heard from Yunyang that you were personally brought here by Master Qin. How did you first meet this Master Qin? Can you tell me? She began recounting her story with a sorrowful expression. Over 10 years ago, my family declined, and our enemies came for us. When we were fleeing, Master Qin saved me and has raised me ever since. After hearing this, Su Changtian sneered inwardly. Fleeing? Taken in? And you just happen to have the one-of-a-kind charm demon soul physique, such a classic backstory. However, on the surface he still showed sympathy. Sorry for bringing up something so painful. Su Jinxian politely replied, Thank you for your concern, young master. I was still very young back then, it's long in the past. Su Changtian decided to cast the bait and asked, Do you still remember who those enemies were? If they're still alive, I can help you take revenge. She was momentarily startled and replied, Your kindness terrifies me, young master. He pressed further, So you don't need it? She answered firmly, My revenge has already been taken. All of it? Jinxian nodded in confirmation. That was all he needed. He curled his lips into a smile. So that Master Qin has already secretly silenced all your enemies. Her pupils constricted. Clearly Su Changtian's words had struck a point she had never considered, or dared not consider. She hurriedly denied it. Third young master, please don't make wild guesses. But her tone had already lost its earlier composure. Su Changtian smiled with satisfaction, certain in his heart, hooked. Even if I can't convince Su Jinxian outright, planting a seed of doubt in her heart is a big win. Not giving her time to recover, he launched the decisive psychological blow. Jinxian, just answer yes or no. Master Qin never let you see a single one of your enemies alive, did he? The questioning was sharp as a blade, seemingly a baseless guess, yet it struck true. leaving her dizzy and speechless. After Su Changtian's fatal psychological strike, the two fell into an awkward silence. Su Jinxian lowered her head, unable to speak, the atmosphere suddenly turning heavy. Seeing her reaction, he was taken aback and thought, wait, I was just making things up, don't tell me I hit the mark. She lifted her head and tried to defend herself. Jinxian knows she's already at your mercy. But please don't slander Master Qin's character. Su Changtian smirked, not answering directly. So I was right? He continued reasoning. If Master Qin has kept you all these years, I'd guess it's because your parents also died in that so-called flight back then, right? He took another step forward, exposing the unbelievable coincidence. You with your charm demon soul physique just happened to be found and rescued by Master Qin. Isn't that just a bit too coincidental? He analyzed further. With a special physique that can control others' minds invisibly, who wouldn't be tempted? Especially someone important like Master Qin. For him, killing your entire family is as easy as opening his mouth, and what he gets in return. Each word from Su Changtian was like a blade stabbing straight into Su Jinxuan's mind. She trembled as the beliefs she had long held firm began to shake violently. Driven into a corner, she shouted back, Not everyone in this world has a temperament like yours, young master. Master Qin has always treated me like his own younger sister. I came here this time entirely of my own will, to share his burdens. Changtian merely sneered upon hearing this and repeated mockingly, He treats you like his real sister? He decided to throw out an even more dangerous test. Then I'll spread the word that I've captured you and plan to execute you. You tell me, will Master Qin disappear without a word, or come charging into my Su estate to rescue you? Su Jinxian was once again struck dumb. Not stopping there, he added, and Master Qin was already famous over 10 years ago. His strength now must be unfathomable. So why hasn't someone like that taught you how to cultivate? Hit at a vital point, she replied awkwardly. Jinxian doesn't like fighting and killing, so I never cultivated. Su Changtian narrowed his eyes, his gaze sharp enough to pierce through her heart. If you dislike fighting and killing, why did you learn this demonic physique technique? She stammered, her eyes avoiding his. I don't really know, it feels like I just knew those things from birth. Hearing this, he merely laughed coldly, thinking to himself, just knew from birth, huh? Without cultivating a secret art, you can't even perform basic inner sight. Without inner sight, how would you control your soul, let alone those countless spore-like particles? Changtian leaned down, pressing close to her, his voice filled with a strange allure. It was Master Qin who only gave you the charm demon soul physique technique, wasn't it? Su Jinxian nearly collapsed. Her eyes wavered violently, a trace of determination flashing through. Right. He knew this girl was stubborn, but he would not stop until he had his answer. Su Jinxian tilted her head and slapped Su Changtian's hand away, a strong act of resistance. Seeing this, he stepped back, appearing magnanimous. One last question, I hope you'll answer honestly. She replied, Please ask, young master. He turned his back and suddenly threw out a completely unrelated name. Do you know someone named Qingmo? Jinxian was slightly stunned. Qingmo? Her reaction did not escape Su Changtian's sidelong glance. He knew he was on the right track. She became somewhat guarded. How did third young master know that I'm acquainted with young Master Qin? I met him a month ago. We didn't know each other back then, right? He did not answer, but his mind was already calculating rapidly. The two have met before, and she's willing to share information about Qingmo. With just these 2 points, I can narrow down Qingmo's route to within 5 possibilities. Su Changtian spoke coldly. How I know is none of your concern. You only need to answer my questions right now. Under his overwhelming pressure, she finally had to bow her head in submission. Yes, Jinxian has overstepped. Su Changtian continued the conversation, now sounding intrigued. No matter, I'm curious now, what's your relationship with that Qingmo? Su Jinxian glanced sideways lightly, her tone tinged with teasing. Young master is asking this, because you're jealous? He admitted without hesitation, possessively, perhaps, after all, I do covet the enchanting soul demonic body constitution, so, what's your relationship? Sensing she had regained a bit of initiative, she began to set conditions. If Jin Xian tells you, young master, what benefit would I get? He was surprised by her change in attitude. Benefit? Jin Xian nodded in confirmation. He sneered and offered a humiliating benefit. Of course there's a benefit. Once we reach the manor, when I hand you over to Inger, I'll put in a few good words for you so she'll be gentler with you. Her face darkened as she ground her teeth and replied, Then Jin Xian would rather not have that benefit. But if I tell you the truth, can third young master give me a quick death? Su Changtian replied smugly, That depends on your performance. If you can offer something that moves my heart, I could consider it. After a prolonged battle of wits, Su Jin Xian finally conceded, Fine, I'll talk. She began recounting, Qingmo and I traveled together for a while. When we parted, we made a bet. A bet? If he could bring me the demon core of that dear demon in Wind Crow Forest within a month, I'd play a song just for him. Su Changtian looked dissatisfied. If that's all the information you have, it's not enough reason for me to give you a quick death. Su Jin Xian hesitated for a moment, then added, I approached Qingmo because Mr. Qin said his background might not be simple. A thought flashed through Su Changtian's mind. Here it comes again. Plot changes. I thought Qingmo and Su Jinshuan's meeting was by chance, but it turns out someone carefully orchestrated it all along. He ordered, Continue. Su Jinxian revealed more. Mr. Qin said this Qingmo might be connected to a place called Burial Village. Upon hearing this, Su Changtian muttered Burial Village while opening the system panel. He thought to himself, I know Burial Village all too well, way too familiar. A village deep in the mountains at the Great Yen border, both peaceful and extremely dangerous, the starter village in the Cangyuan storyline. It's peaceful because all the elders there treated the protagonist well, like family elders. It's dangerous because these elders are all big shots who retired there to live out their days, old big shots, who were once notorious bandits or great demons, a broken-down little village full of various big shots, and then he recalled a horrifying truth from the plot. My Prime Minister father personally led people to slaughter the entire village clean. Only one boy who accidentally entered the deep mountains to hunt survived alone. That boy is Qingmo. Su Changtian realized the gravity of the situation. With this blood feud between them, there's no room for reconciliation between Qingmo and the Prime Minister's manor. I must find Qingmo as soon as possible, otherwise, once he fully grows up, the situation will become extremely unfavorable for my side. However, based on the current clues, I can narrow down Qingmo's route to within 3 possibilities. He muttered calculations to himself, leaving Su Jinxian completely confused. First route, the hot-blooded righteous path. Hot-blooded righteous protagonist, critically wounded war god. The more critically wounded, the more he can power up. Second route, the portable grandpa route. Fully manual AI controlled, under special conditions, power can surge dramatically. Third route, cultivating the Great Joy technique, the demonic yin-yang path, 3 doses of joy powder as a cheat, ignores level restrictions. The first and last routes aren't much of a problem. If I find Qingmo, I can just have Zhou Chun go kill him. The most troublesome is the second route. Among the people I know, probably only Su Chunga could reliably kill him, even that surnamed Ran Ice Block would be uncertain. Seeing Su Changtian deep in thought, Su Jinxian called softly, Young master. He glanced at her and asked, What, you seem very afraid? Feeling uneasy inside, she answered honestly, The Prime Minister Manor's shadow guards are notorious. Jinxian has naturally heard of them. Su Changtian turned to her, his gaze cold. Since you're afraid, then why did you dare come looking for me? This question once again left Su Jinxian speechless, unable to answer. He proposed a final deal. One last question, if you're willing to answer. Once we enter the manor, I won't hand you over to Inger. She looked up abruptly as he asked directly, Su Jinxian, what was that Mr. Qin's purpose in having you control me? Jinxian fell silent. This was the core question, and also the one she feared facing the most. After a long silence, she looked up with a forced, pitiful smile. I don't know. Hearing this answer, Su Changtian turned his back, his tone cold. How unfortunate, Jinxian. That's not the answer I wanted to hear. Before long, the carriage arrived at the Prime Minister's estate, also known as Su Manor. The scene inside the manor was vast, with connected corridors and courtyards, displaying the power of the Su clan. After disembarking, Su Jinxian was led away by Inger. Su Changtian sat down and called Zhou Chen over. Mr. Zhou, could you help me with something? Zhou Chen, who had been about to take a sip of wine, immediately turned serious and replied respectfully, Third young master, just give your orders. He ordered, help me investigate this matter of Su Jinxuan's family being wiped out. While being led away, Su Jinxian heard this and could not help but feel a trace of worry in her heart. Zhou Chen's eyes sharpened as he replied hesitantly, young master means. Su Changtian explained further, Su Jinxian said she was saved by that Mr. Qin while fleeing. Her entire family, young and old, were most likely all killed. I suspect there's something hidden in this story. Zhou Chen raised a concern. I just don't know where Miss Su's hometown is? Su Changtian's eyes flashed with light. He already had the answer to that. Jin City in Jiangnan Prefecture.